the first thing that must be addressed, based on, I believe, our first episode, because we got some flack for this. Is cheese a pizza topping? And before we address it, let's look at the comments we got. So I know you can't see them. I have them up on the screen, but I will read them. So
I have it here. I can see it.
Oh, okay. Even better. So Alex basically says that he never considered cheese a topping. He also played the I worked at Pizza Hut card, and it was considered a plain pizza. So his basic argument here is that he considers it a foundational part of the pizza, right? So similar to sauce, or sauce is just a part of the pizza, right? You wouldn't call sauce a topping. So he draws that analogy, and then he finishes it off with cheese not being in the toppings list at all. So, and David Yoder agreed. By the way, David Yoder coming in clutch in the comments this season. If we were giving out awards for best commenter, David, you would win that award because you had thoughtful comments that are littered throughout this live stream. And also, I think you had the most, if not very, very close. So anyway, David also agrees with him. And honestly, we had this discussion. You and I had this discussion beforehand. Because I wanted cheese to not count.
I was just going to say,
because
this whole thing started on text, back and forth.
Yep.
Already arguing, even before that. It was confusing for me, at least. And probably for you, because I confused you, thinking like we were on the same page.
Yeah.
But we were not. My question to that argument is, if it is not considered a topping, why do we call it cheese pizza?
Okay.
If it is just like sauce, why don't we say, can I have a sauce pizza?
So first of all, yes. I agree that cheese is more a topping than sauce. Because extra cheese is a topping. And as far as topping, if we're going to take it literally, you would say the top layer of a pizza, when you don't have other toppings, is cheese. Mm-hmm. And sauce is never the top of a pizza because you're always going to have at least cheese above it. Mm-hmm. And, like you said, cheese pizza is a thing. You don't call it a plain pizza. But, at the same time, I agree with Alex that it is the default pizza. You don't have a pizza without cheese. So I do think that it's not really a topping because it's default, right? It's like
I agree. It's like a quesadilla.
The cheese is implied.
You know that a quesadilla, it's in the name actually. That's what it means, right?
Yeah.
It's a tortilla with queso or cheese, which means cheese, right? So then they put them together and you get quesadilla, a queso tortilla. And but people do ask for a quesadilla, and I think is wrong, but they still do. They ask for a quesadilla, let's say chicken quesadilla with no cheese. It's like, well, now you're asking for a taco, my friend. But okay. So, yes, it is the default. But then, so what is a pizza? What makes a pizza a pizza?
That is the other question. What's your answer to that?
Well, according to
Le Google.
Le Google.
Our great overlord Google, Wikipedia. Master of the YouTubes. Yeah. That's his formal title. Little known fact. No, I'm making that up. But I don't want the YouTube overlords to shut us down because we're calling them out on their true name. But you, the listener, you know the truth.
Yeah. So Wikipedia. Pizza is Italian savory dish of Italian origin, consisting of usually round, flattened base of leavened wheat-based dough. See, this is when it gets tricky. Topped with tomatoes, cheese, and often various other ingredients.
Yeah. So
He
also,
leaves it open.
yeah. Also, off of that, Chicago pizza, at least the DiGiorno one, or I forget what it's called, the DM, whatever it is. Some of them, the cheese is on top and the toppings are in the middle, which would make cheese technically on the top. But, even though I do like those little technicalities, my original standpoint was I thought we shouldn't have included cheese, and I have not swayed from that. I think that cheese doesn't count, and it's just implied. Where do you stand?
Well, I stand by my original statement, and
All right.
I just say, even though it is the default, even though it can not be seen as a topping, I feel like it is, which up to a certain extent, the definition given by the all-knowing Wikipedia page, I think it kind of confirms that the pizza is a. You know what? I'm gonna look.
It also would make it sound like the sauce would count as a topping too, though. So I don't know that you can pull that argument without also calling sauce a topping.
That's why I said sustain my position, but what I want to see is where the word came from. All right, here we go. Etymology. The word pizza first appeared in a Latin text from the central Italian town of Gaeta, then still part of the Byzantine Empire. Okay, whatever.
That's a lot of history.
The text
wow.
says that, yeah. The text states that a tenant of certain property is to give the bishop of Gaeta duodecim pizzae, which means 12 pizzas every Christmas Day and another 12 every Easter Sunday. So, the word that we get from the Greek pita is the same, which is the bread. So, boom, the pizza is the bread.
So that means if you're gonna ride with that, I think you gotta add sauce, tomato sauce to it. Because I don't know how you can get away from that being a topping by that definition.
Well, but not according to the original intent of the word, which was just the bread. So then, yes, including the sauce. So now we have to, in our own culture and in our current society, then we have, as it happens with many cultural things, appropriated this dish and have an idea of it that includes more things than just what it was intended in the beginning. If that makes sense.
But the question is, at what point does it become the new understanding of a thing? Right? Just like words change definitions over time. At what point do we say that whatever the original intent of pizza is we've evolved past that? It's no longer the case.
Mm-hmm.
Which we could go even more deep and nerdy about this, but I'll just throw out there that since I don't believe that it is one, what my fourth topping would be, if we would have a redo, because if I'm kicking cheese out, so we both agreed, I think we were 4 for 4 on this. So we agreed on, we were, sausage, pepperoni, and mushrooms. My fourth one would be bacon, which won pretty handily over the other options we have left as far as popularity goes. And just is more common to pizza than the competition. Like, as much as I love onions on pizza, green peppers on pizza, stuff like that, all of those always seem to play second fiddle. but bacon can star in the show. Even chicken, like it's usually chicken with something. Like, does anybody ever get a plain chicken pizza?
Right.
It's always at least chicken ranch or something. Or
I don't
chicken
know
bacon
if they
ranch.
even sell it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you just get one topping, you can get whatever you want. Ooh, there's another argument. So if you get a one topping pizza, that's allowing you cheese and another topping. That's what. Otherwise, it's just a plain cheese pizza. So you can get a plain cheese pizza, or you can get a one topping pizza, which is something that adds something besides the cheese. Because in a one topping pizza, you're not choosing between the cheese or the pepperoni. You're choosing pepperoni or sausage with your cheese. But, alas. Anyway, final words?
Well, this one we agreed on the 4, right?
Correct.
But just because of that. Just because of the cheese. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I stand by it. I wouldn't change cheese for bacon. That was something that until I moved here to the States, I started hearing bacon and sauce, which I really like. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know.
So
I would have to think a little more and say maybe just plain ham would go before.
interesting.
Bacon, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, because you have the whole bunch of us that love ham and pineapple.
Yeah.
So that chunk along without the pineapple, you say, well, ham, it's a pretty popular and common ingredient for pizza.
Interesting. I feel like that would not rank very high for me. I think it's hovering around 9. I'm not sure, though. Not for my personal taste. My personal taste is probably like 12, but I don't know where. I feel like onion has to be above it. Bacon has to be above it. It's probably
Olives
above
might
chicken.
be
Olives maybe. It is above pineapple though, because you never get just pineapple on a pizza. It's always if you get pineapple, you will get ham. But,
yeah.
All right.